Good morning. How's everybody? It is Friday, so we're all happy about that. Our next topic that we're going into with the biology is speaking about cells in particular. Cells weren't always part of the biology content. For quite a while, life happened. A lot of things were explained away as magic, wizardry, happenstance, faith, don't question it, don't question that. Well, at some point, the development of the microscope occurred. It was a crude model, and it came out of folks that were glass makers, eyeglass makers, kind of like these. Still very crude, but they were able to shape lenses, and it gave them an up-close look and started to study the living organisms. And one of the first gentlemen that became interested in this pretty much as a hobby was Robert Hooke. He was able to slice thin sections of cork, get it beneath his lenses, thin so light would come through, and he observed these small compartments. And looking at these small compartments, I think he was reminded of a monastery and the monks' cells, and he stuck the name of cells on these small compartments that he saw at the very tiny level of that slice of cork. So we got to give Robert Hooke a little golf clap. Thank you, Robert, for being into your hobby. You had a passion. Good for him. Hopefully you'll find your passion. That got shared around, and then a fellow by the name of Leeuwen Hooke, hope I pronounced that right, he used what Hooke had purported and went further, and he started looking at more plants, animals, and other microorganisms, fashioning and improving on his microscopes, really his lenses that they kind of held one over the other. I mean, they were crude. And he confirmed and drew and shared, and again he ran into these small compartments in these living organisms. He shared his drawings. It was starting to become accepted, but not by the masses, more along in the community of folks that were interested in that hobby at that time. Then we got to throw in these two guys named Sleeden and Swan, and they got a little serious, more development of the microscope, and were able to, again, take what was presented, published, remember scientific method, it was published. They furthered the investigation, didn't reinvent the wheel, but went further, probably became better at making the specimens so they could see them with a light microscope. Light microscope means you got to have thin slices, because light has to beam through. The light has to beam through. And nowadays we're beaming through electrons. But he wrote it up, and they finally came out, and we're getting pretty comfortable with all living organisms are made of cells. If you find a living organism, look close, magnify it, you're going to find those small compartments. And this leads us to the cell theory. Cell theory certainly something as a biology student with biology content, you need to know the three parts. Today they make good sense to you. You never thought about magic being in place. First premise, all living organisms are made of cells. Second premise is cells are the fundamental units of life. And the third are cells come from pre-existing cells. So it wasn't a magic thing. It wasn't a poof, there it is. Keep in mind as well, back in the 1800s when they were bringing this stuff out, they were going against the current, a lot of religious belief, a lot of uneducated folk that where they went to get any kind of their information, especially on life, they went to the church. And the church, its principles were handed down and handed down and handed down, and they were based on faith. And with the church and the faith, you know, in this particular situation, you were thought of and maybe burned at the stake, and we're not given favors, but the church was powerful. You didn't ask how, why, when, where, what. You just said faith. In some situations, that's good, you know, but when it came down to the cells, we needed a little turn on that thing. And so science came in, find some evidence, here's the evidence, draw some conclusions, further the pursuit, and yeah, we came up with cell theory. 1, 2, 3. That's yours now. Hey, thank you.